yeah, some of the most fulfilling moments on set was just watching them figure this out. And then I actually got to just jump in as an actor.
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively's feud is not cooling down anytime soon. In fact, it is only intensify with every passing day, spiraling into a spectacle that has gripped both Hollywood insiders and fans alike. What initially appeared to be just another clash of egos on a high-profile film set has now transformed into something much larger, as Baldoni is reportedly preparing to take legal action against Lively, an escalation that threatens to drag the entire industry into its messy orbit. The tension reached a shocking climax during a recent interview when Justin's lawyer, in a move no one saw coming, unveiled what has already been dubbed the bombshell of the century. Blake, who had walked into the moment projecting her signature confidence and poise, was blindsided as a lawyer, armed with a briefcase overflowing with documents and receipts, began revealing the contents one by one. Each disclosure seemed more damning than the last, chipping away at her calm exterior until her polished facade began to crumble under the weight of the revelations. According to those present, this lawsuit is shaping up to be a scorched earth battle, brimming with evidence, private admissions, and carefully compiled documents designed to prove in meticulous detail how Blake allegedly strong-armed her way into creative control that ends with us. The claims extend further, painting a picture of a star who not only muscled her influence behind the scenes, but also deployed her powerful PR machine in an orchestrated attempt to discredit Justin and push him to the sidelines. For months, Blake had coolly dismissed allegations of mistreatment, brushing them off as exaggerations or baseless gossip. But that veneer control shattered instantly once Justin's team unleashed what they insist is irrefutable proof. The fallout has been swift and unsettling. Blake's former co-stars, once vocal in their support, have suddenly gone quiet, and their silence is already being interpreted as a statement in itself. In Hollywood, silence often carries more weight than denial or defense, and a hush around her circle has only fueled speculation that there may be more truth to Justin's side than anyone previously believed. But the most explosive part of this saga lies in the whispers now circulating through the industry about Blake's real agenda. The evidence presented so far, leaked text messages dripping with tension, raw behind-the-scenes footage capturing moments from It Ends With Us that were never meant to be public, and hints of a much deeper rift, suggests this feud is not just about creative differences, but about power, manipulation, and reputation on a grand scale. Adding even more intrigue is the curious silence of two figures who, under normal circumstances, might have spoken up: Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds. Their conspicuous quietness has not gone unnoticed, with insiders speculating that they may have been pulled into the drama in ways the public has yet to fully understand. Whether it is loyalty, legal strategy, or simply a desire to avoid the crossfire, their decision to remain on the sidelines has only deepened the mystery. What was once merely a Hollywood clash has now ballooned into an all-consuming scandal, with careers, reputations, and even friendships hanging precariously in the balance. And as the legal battle looms, it is clear that this storm is far from over. It may, in fact, be just the beginning of the most explosive showdown the industry has seen in years. This isn't just drama anymore. It has exploded into a full-blown scandal, one that is consuming headlines and captivating audiences who can't seem to look away. Trust me, this wild ride is only gaining speed, and if you think you've seen it all, you might want to buckle up. At the heart of it all are Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, two names now synonymous with one of Hollywood's most heated controversies. What began as a series of sharp accusations has snowballed into something much bigger, with every new revelation peeling back yet another layer of tension and mistrust. From the outside, many are beginning to believe that Blake Lively may be playing a far more active role in this saga than initially assumed, and three signs in particular seem to suggest just that. At first, Blake kept her allegations relatively narrow, accusing Baldoni of damaging her reputation and attempting to paint himself as a hero of the project. But as time passed, her list of grievances expanded dramatically. Suddenly, she was making dozens of claims against him, ranging from accusations that he had forcibly kissed her on set to allegations that he entered her private RV without permission while she was breastfeeding. These claims shocked many, but they also invited skepticism. Industry watchers and fans alike began asking hard questions. If such harassment truly occurred, how did Baldoni manage to bypass Blake's ever-present bodyguards? Why didn't she stop filming altogether if she felt unsafe? And why? In the middle of this supposed tension, was she captured on camera holding his waist while directing him on set, behavior that suggested familiarity rather than fear? Even more puzzling was Baldoni's own demeanor. He appeared distinctly uninterested in Blake, at times even avoiding eye contact and reacting coldly to her presence, hardly the behavior of a man desperate for her attention. As courtroom drama replaced whispered gossip, things escalated further. Blake initially tried to project composure, brushing off accusations and maintaining a calm front as though none of this fazed her. Yet, that veneer quickly began to crack the moment Justin's lawyer entered the spotlight with a carefully prepared arsenal of evidence. The first major blow was a release of text messages exchanged between Blake and Justin, messages that told a strikingly different story from a narrative she was presenting to the public. Instead of fear or discomfort, the text revealed warmth, casual friendliness, and even professional admiration. Following that came the revelation that Blake allegedly never read It Ends With Us before filming began, leaving her confused about her character and insecure on set, something Justin's team argued was at the root of her hostility. To make matters worse for her side, accusations of diva-like behavior emerged, with Justin's campaigning a picture of a star who attempted to dominate the creative process and reshape the film according to her own preferences. Blake's team fought back, of course, dismissing all of it as a smokescreen, a calculated distraction meant to divert attention from the serious allegations she had lodged against Baldoni. For a time, the whole affair looked like a typical Hollywood stalemate, a messy he said she said narrative with no clear truth in sight. But then came the turning point, the kind of bombshell that shifted the entire balance of the scandal. Justin's lawyer presented a fresh batch of messages, this time between Blake and the film's producers, in which she praised Justin's professionalism and even expressed excitement about collaborating with him just days before she went public with her accusations. These revelations landed like a thunderclap. If that weren't enough, members of production crew stepped forward, breaking their silence to describe Justin as nothing but respectful and professional on set, their testimonies directly contradicting Blake's claims. The final blow came in the form of timestamp security footage shown in court. The video captured Blake and Justin casually chatting, laughing, and enjoying downtime together on set on the very same day she later claimed she had felt unsafe. The footage did not merely weaken her narrative, it directly undermined it, forcing many to question whether her accusations could withstand the scrutiny of both the legal system and public opinion. What started as rumors and whispers has now spiraled into a complex, high-stakes scandal with reputations on the line, careers hanging in the balance, and the truth seemingly shifting with every new revelation. One thing is certain. The story is far from over, and each courtroom twist ensures that the drama between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively will remain the most talked-about scandal in Hollywood for a long time to come. Then came the twist no one could have predicted, the kind of revelation that flips a courtroom on its head and changes the entire trajectory of a case. In a stunning moment, Justin Baldoni's lawyer revealed that during one of the very incidents Blake Lively had referenced in her complaint, the incident she had claimed left her shaken and unsafe, she wasn't even on set at all. Instead, records showed she had been vacationing in the Bahamas with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, a detail that sent shockwaves through the courtroom and instantly began to unravel the carefully constructed timeline she had presented. It wasn't just a minor discrepancy. It was a devastating blow to her credibility, raising serious questions about how much of her story could truly be trusted. As this revelation echoed outside the courtroom, the silence from Blake's co-stars and colleagues from It Ends With Us grew increasingly deafening. In Hollywood, where public loyalty can often define reputations, and where a single supportive post can sway millions of fans, the absence of any defense from those who work most closely with her spoke volumes. Insiders whispered that people were hesitant to risk their own standing by publicly backing her, especially with the mountain of contradictory evidence now piling up. Text messages, behind-the-scenes footage, and glaring timeline inconsistencies painted a picture that even her allies were finding difficult to stand behind. What had begun as a clash between two actors was now spiraling into a full-scale Hollywood spectacle where reputations, careers, and trust itself were all being weighed in the balance. The questions swirling around the case grew louder by the day. Was Blake lying outright to protect her image and maintain her influence in the industry? Or was there some deeper, more complex truth yet to be revealed? And why? In the middle of this chaos were Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, two of the people closest to her, remaining so conspicuously quiet. Their silence became part of the narrative itself, fueling speculation that even they might not fully support her claims. In an industry built on appearances, their refusal to step forward spoke louder than any carefully worded statement could, as if the drama weren't already combustible enough. Industry insiders began stepping into the fray, offering their own accounts and interpretations of what had truly unfolded on set. One anonymous executive insisted that Blake's story simply did not match what the crew had witnessed during filming. This claim was soon backed up by additional footage that showed Blake and Justin interacting warmly during key moments of production, laughing, chatting, even sharing casual touches. Far from the hostile environment Blake had described, these interactions looked ordinary, even friendly, leaving many to wonder why she would later frame the experience so differently. Inside the courtroom, Justin's legal team continued to dismantle Blake's narrative with calculated precision. One of the most jaw-dropping moments came when they presented a meticulous timeline, supported by travel records, hotel receipts, and even Blake's own social media posts, proving beyond doubt that she had been out of the country with her family during one of the alleged incidents. What could once have been brushed off as hearsay was now cemented with hard evidence, and the weight of it was impossible to ignore. But perhaps the most compelling element wasn't the documents or even the footage. It was the voices of the crew members themselves. Time and again, they described Justin as polite, respectful, and easygoing throughout the entire shoot. Several even went so far as to provide formal written statements affirming that they had never once witnessed behavior that could remotely align with Blake's accusations. Their testimonies painted a starkly different picture than the one Blake had been presenting publicly. One where Justin was not an aggressor, but professional, simply doing his job. The final blow came when the court was shown security footage capturing Blake and Justin during breaks on set, casually sharing coffee, laughing, and engaging in relaxed conversation. These images told a story that could not easily be reconciled with her later claims of intimidation and hostility. Instead of an aggressive or unsafe environment, what the footage revealed was an atmosphere of normalcy. Two colleagues interacting in a way that directly contradicted the narrative she had built. With each revelation, the scandal grew larger, more complicated, and far more dangerous for Blake's reputation. What once seemed like an open and shut case of accusations had transformed into a battle over truth, perception, and power, and the world was watching every second it unfold. Adding to the contradictions that were already mounting against Blake Lively were a series of text messages from the early stages of filming. In those messages, Blake not only praised Justin Baldoni's work ethic, but gushed about his professionalism, calling him inspiring, and even going so far as to request additional scenes with him. At the time, these exchanges painted a picture of mutual respect and enthusiasm for collaboration. But when compared with her later claims, they create a stark and troubling inconsistency that left many wondering what her real intentions truly were. Just when it seemed the contradictions couldn't deepen further, another revelation surfaced. According to court documents, Blake had actively lobbied to secure an executive producer credit for It Ends With Us. Her request was denied, and not long afterward, the allegations against Justin appeared in the public sphere. While defenders argued the two events were unrelated, the timing raised eyebrows across Hollywood, sparking whispers that perhaps frustration over being denied influence behind the scenes may have fueled her decision to escalate matters. To truly understand how this feud spiraled into the scandal it is today, it's necessary to rewind. Back in January 2019, Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios, quietly acquired the film rights to Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel It Ends With Us. At that time, the book was already gaining momentum, and within months, it had gone viral on TikTok, cementing itself as a cultural phenomenon. Fast forward to January 2023, the long-awaited cast was finally announced. Blake Lively would take on the coveted role of Lily Bloom, while Baldoni himself stepped into the part of Ryle, Lily's neurosurgeon husband. The announcement generated massive buzz, but fans quickly began noticing an odd detail. Despite being the project's two biggest stars, Blake and Justin rarely appear together in public, igniting early speculation of tension simmering beneath the surface. Still, in an attempt to maintain harmony, Justin publicly praised Blake during the film's premiere, describing her as strong, funny, and intelligent, clearly aiming to quell suspicions of any discord. But the fragile peace didn't hold. As the promotional run began, Blake's approach to marketing the film sparked immediate backlash. It ends with us deals with heavy, deeply personal themes of domestic violence. Yet Blake adopted a lighthearted, almost glib promotional style that many deemed tone-deaf and disrespectful. Viral clips circulated showing her laughing dismissively in interviews, making flippant remarks about the story, and even appearing cold toward her co-stars, all of which intensified criticism and amplified scrutiny on her behavior. As the rift deepened, the media seized on emerging reports of behind-the-scenes friction between Blake and Justin. Outlets like TMZ alleged that Justin had made inappropriate comments, fat-shamed her, and kissed her too aggressively during intimate scenes. The rumors spun so far out of control that fans even speculated Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, might have quietly stepped in behind the scenes, adding another layer of complication to an already volatile dynamic. In response to the growing storm, Justin hired crisis management heavyweight Melissa Nathan, whose client roster included figures like Johnny Depp during his high-profile defamation trial against Amber Heard, as well as musicians like Drake and Travis Scott. With her expertise, Justin sought to protect his reputation, as the narrative against him gathered dangerous momentum. Meanwhile, Blake's image continued to take hits. A Norwegian journalist resurfaced a 2016 clip titled The Blake Lively Interview that made me want to quit my job, which reignited old criticism about her dismissive attitude toward interviewers. At the same time, Justin's public standing was bolstered by his carefully cultivated image as a feminist ally. In 2024, he had even been honored with the prestigious Voices of Solidarity Award from Vital Voices, an international organization dedicated to combating domestic violence and sexual assault. The contrast between his recognition and her mounting controversies made public opinion even more polarized. The drama reached a boiling point on December 21st, when Blake officially filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath, the film's lead producer. The suit accused the two men of sexual misconduct, creating a hostile work environment and orchestrating a deliberate smear campaign designed to destroy her reputation. Overnight, the allegations rocked Hollywood, dragging the project into a storm of legal, ethical, and public relations battles that exposed the power struggles and toxic dynamics often concealed beneath glossy red carpets and polished press tours. According to reporting from the New York Times, the lawsuit alleged Baldoni and Heath crossed physical boundaries, made inappropriate remarks, and repeatedly behaved unprofessionally on set, creating an environment that left Blake feeling harassed and undermined. Now, with contradictory text messages, damaging behind-the-scenes footage, stark timeline discrepancies, and whispers about rejected power plays, the scandal has expanded into something far bigger than a clash between two stars. It has become a case study in how quickly reputations can unravel in Hollywood, where every piece of evidence is dissected under a global microscope, and where silence, loyalty, and betrayal often speak louder than truth itself. Blake Lively described feeling unsafe and deeply vulnerable, citing multiple incidents where Justin Baldoni allegedly crossed professional boundaries and blurred the lines of consent. She claimed he forced unwanted kissing during filming, made intimate and inappropriate comments about his personal life, and created an atmosphere that left her unsettled. Adding to her discomfort, she alleged that Nathan Heath behaved with shocking impropriety, once showing her an unsolicited and graphic video of his naked wife, and on another occasion entering her trailer uninvited, while she was topless during body makeup removal. According to her filings, the invasions of privacy didn't stop there. Both men, she said, repeatedly entered her beauty van without permission, even at moments when she was breastfeeding or partially undressed, moments when she should have been afforded absolute privacy and dignity. These allegations painted a disturbing picture of the environment on set, raising urgent questions about boundaries, respect, and professional conduct in Hollywood. Wayfarer Studios, confronted with the seriousness of her complaints, took immediate steps to mitigate the fallout and address the optics. They agreed to hire a full-time intimacy coordinator to oversee scenes involving physical closeness, brought in an external producer to provide oversight, and made public assurances that Blake would not face retaliation for raising concerns. Still, according to reports, Baldoni and Heath privately worried that her claims would permanently stain their reputations. To counter the potential damage, they allegedly turned to a powerful, high-profile PR firm, the same one known for representing Johnny Depp during his infamous legal battles. What followed, Blake's team argued, was nothing short of a coordinated campaign to discredit her. Evidence submitted in court bolstered these claims. One subpoenaed email exchange stunned observers. A publicist bluntly stated, "He wants to feel like she can be buried." To this, Nathan Heath allegedly responded, "You know, we can bury anyone." The cold, transactional tone of these words fed directly into Blake's argument that a deliberate smear effort had been launched against her, designed to erode her credibility before she even had a chance to defend herself. But Baldoni's defense team struck back with equal force, presenting evidence that appeared to undermine the very foundation of her narrative. Receipts and travel records proved that during one of the incidents she claimed happened on set, Blake was actually on vacation in the Bahamas with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. Her own social media posts, photos of beaches, cocktails, and family time, were used in court to contradict her sworn statements, casting serious doubt on her credibility. The defense also revealed emails showing she had actively lobbied producers early in the production process to reshape the film's script and expand her role. One request, aimed at rewriting a pivotal scene to increase her screen presence, was flatly rejected. Combined with her push for an executive producer credit, the evidence suggested Blake had been angling for more control over the film from the beginning, long before tensions with Justin escalated. The revelations didn't stop there. Leaked direct messages further painted a picture of personal frustration, showing Blake venting about her limited screen time compared to Justin's. These communications fueled speculation that her grievances may not have been purely about safety and misconduct, but also about power, influence, and her perception of being sidelined. For many Hollywood insiders, the timing of her allegations, surfacing after her attempt at greater creative control had been rebuffed, raised difficult questions about whether this feud was rooted in personal ambition as much as professional misconduct. The legal battle has since ballooned into one of the most closely watched courtroom dramas in Hollywood, exposing not only the interpersonal conflict between its stars, but also the underbelly of industry politics. Behind-the-scenes power struggles, calculated PR offensives, and the fragile nature of reputations in a business where perception often outweighs truth. What began as a film adaptation of a beloved best-selling novel has spiraled into a scandal where ambition, credibility, and narrative control collide in spectacular fashion. The silence of Blake's closest allies has only intensified speculation. Normally, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift are front and center when it comes to supporting her publicly. Yet throughout this escalating saga, both have remained conspicuously quiet. Their absence in the conversation has sparked endless buzz online, with fans asking whether they know something the public doesn't. The whispers grow louder with every passing day, their silence becoming almost as newsworthy as the allegations themselves. Adding even more intrigue, some of Blake's former Gossip Girl co-stars have been subtly signaling their stance by liking social media posts that appear to side with Justin. For fans, this has transformed the scandal into something resembling a high-stakes chess match, where each move, every leaked message, every quiet endorsement, every silence, carries enormous weight. Meanwhile, public opinion has begun to turn. A recent poll on Board Panda revealed that after the courtroom evidence was made public, a significant majority of fans expressed support for Justin, leaving Blake's team under immense pressure. The courtroom revelations have not only shifted the narrative, but flipped it entirely, leaving her lawyers scrambling for a response that is yet to come. Their silence in the face of mounting evidence has been deafening, in sharp contrast to Justin's increasingly confident posture. Far from retreating, Justin is doubling down. He has made it clear he has no intention of settling quietly behind closed doors, as so many Hollywood disputes often are. Instead, he is prepared to take the case all the way through trial, insisting that the evidence is strong enough to vindicate him. It is a bold and risky move, one that places his entire career and reputation on the line, but it also signals that he believes the truth is firmly on his side. If the momentum continues to build against Blake, this gamble could pay off in extraordinary fashion, clearing his name once and for all while reshaping how Hollywood handles its most combustible scandals. The stakes are massive and the tension is mounting with every passing day, but Justin's unshakable determination makes it clear that he believes the truth will eventually win out, no matter how messy unpredictable, or unforgiving the journey becomes. For him, this case has never been just about fighting back against allegations. It has become a personal mission to protect his integrity and send a larger message about accountability in Hollywood. He knows that in an industry built on image, where rumors and headlines can stick for years even without concrete evidence, reputations are as fragile as glass. One whisper can shatter decades of work, and Justin is determined not to let that happen to him. By committing to the courtroom instead of seeking a quiet settlement, he is making a bold, almost unprecedented move in Hollywood, signaling that he has nothing to hide and everything to prove. His legal team has echoed this stance publicly, declaring that they want every detail aired out in the open. No secret deals, no hidden negotiations, no quick fixes designed to sweep the scandal under the rug. It's a daring strategy, one that comes with enormous risks, but also one that demonstrates the confidence they have in the overwhelming strength of their evidence. On the other side, Blake is facing mounting pressure that grows heavier with every new revelation. The contradictions in her story, one small enough to overlook, are widening into gaping holes that threaten to consume the credibility she has built over her career. Every leaked timeline, every resurfaced message, and every eyewitness testimony chips away at the image she has so carefully cultivated. Her silence, and that of her legal team, has only made matters worse. In an industry where perception often matters more than fact, the absence of a strong rebuttal is being interpreted as weakness. Fans and industry insiders alike are starting to ask whether she even has a strategy capable of salvaging her case, or if her lawyers are stalling, because they know the defense will be too flimsy when placed against Justin's mountain of evidence. The optics are brutal, and in Hollywood, optics can be the death of career. What began as a dispute between two co-stars has now exploded into a cultural firestorm, dominating headlines, social media feeds, and late-night talk show discussions. Every leaked court filing is dissected. Every cryptic social media post is treated like a clue, and every whispered insider rumor spreads like wildfire. Online, fans are split, some still clinging to Blake's side out of loyalty, while others, swayed by the mounting evidence, have shifted firmly into Justin's camp. Hashtags trend daily. Think pieces pour out of entertainment outlets, and TikTok creators churn out frame-by-frame breakdowns of security footage and courtroom testimony. The obsession is relentless, and it is feeding into the narrative that this trial has grown far bigger than just a legal battle between two stars. Now, the central question looming over Hollywood is no longer whether Justin can defend himself or whether Blake can survive the storm. It's whether the scandal will mark a turning point in how the industry handles disputes of this nature. Will it prove that even the most powerful stars are not untouchable when faced with undeniable evidence? Or will it reinforce the cynicism that in Hollywood, image, spin, and silence can still outweigh truth? For Justin, the trial represents a chance not only to clear his name, but to challenge the system itself, showing that facts can, in the end, outshine gossip. For Blake, however, the trial represents something far more terrifying. The possibility that her career, reputation, and carefully crafted public image could collapse in real time under the weight of scrutiny. And as the world watches with bated breath, one thing has become clear. This saga is far from over, and with every new twist, the story only grows darker, deeper, and more consequential. Insiders are whispering that even more evidence is still tucked away, waiting to be revealed. And if those whispers prove true, then this case is nowhere near its conclusion. In fact, the drama could spiral into something even bigger than what we've already seen. Something capable of eclipsing even the most infamous scandals of the last decade. The stakes have never been higher, and the entertainment world remains glued to every scrap of information, dissecting courtroom leaks, industry statements, and cryptic social media posts like detectives piecing together a crime scene. The timing of it all feels almost eerie. Just last year, Hollywood was shaken to its core by the endless lawsuits surrounding Diddy, scandals that seemed to dominate the cultural conversation for months on end. And now, barely a year later, the industry is once again reeling from another firestorm. This time one fueled by accusations of betrayal, orchestrated PR campaigns, and a courtroom showdown that feels more like a scripted blockbuster than reality. It's almost as if the universe itself has turned up the heat on Tinseltown, daring the entertainment capital of the world to confront its own darkest secrets. The The parallels between this case and other high-profile Hollywood implosions are impossible to ignore. In every scandal, reputations crumble overnight, allegiances shift, and the carefully polished illusion of stardom is stripped bare under relentless scrutiny. Social media has only amplified the spectacle, creating a round-the-clock battleground where fans, critics, and even casual observers weigh in with passionate certainty. Twitter threads unravel every inconsistency. TikTok creators analyze courtroom footage frame by frame, and Instagram gossip pages keep the fire alive with daily updates. Some voices are demanding total transparency, insisting that no matter how ugly, raw, or reputation-shattering the truth may be, it must be exposed in full. For them, this case is about